Bow in the sun and the moon and the stars and the skies. What's happening, guys? Pro Wrestle Times PWT podcast is back in the hills.
Dummy.
Shout out Kevin Smith. Shout out Jason Mewes. Had to steal their line. What's up, guys? Your host, Phil Marks. I am here. Yes, as we trudge into the second week of the new year. Pro Wrestle Times, it rolls on, and it rolls on because of you, the listener, the almighty listener, and especially our patrons, those who support the channel and the content with a little bit of scratch. Our patrons, Reggie Rodriguez, Marky the Mark, Ashley V, Russ Pax, and Chris Killis. Cruz Madrid is new, and also we have another new guy, Desirac Uchiha. So shout you guys out, man. You guys get a big LA night from me. That's absolutely well deserved. And guys, if you want to support the channel in other ways, just click that like, click that subscribe, give it 5 stars, give it 3 stars, give it whatever. If you like it, let me know in a comment. If you don't, fuck off. No, you can tell me that too. That's all good. And make sure you check out our description, our WWE shop affiliation link. We are officially affiliates of WWEshop.com and Fanatics. We partnered up. We'll hear more about that later on in the show, but just check out ways to support us below. But the easy way, man, you just hit that like. You tell a friend. You know what I mean? Guys, how you been? We have stuff to get into. So not last episode, but the episode before was the holiday special, and I released it. And Chris Jericho had a meltdown the eve of the release of the PWT holiday special. Last week's episode came out, and later that evening, Tony Khan had an absolute Twitter meltdown once again. Yeah, let's get a dummy for Tony Khan.
Dummy, yeah.
And he had a meltdown the eve of me putting out the last episode. So the last 2 episodes I released of PWT podcast, Jericho has a meltdown, and then Tony has a fucking meltdown. And so I missed talking about them, but we're gonna talk about that this episode. We're gonna laugh about it. We're gonna talk some shit. I watched a shit ton of wrestling this last Saturday night. There was TNA Hard to Kill. There was New Japan Battle in the Valley. There was a UFC was on. Johnny Walker versus what's his name, Ankalaev, or I can't remember, dude. But yeah, Johnny Walker got TKO'd, and yeah, I think his name's Ankalaev. I just got to look it up now because my brain won't rest until I know the answer. But yeah, man, yeah, it was Ankalaev. So there was just so much action going on this weekend, and it really reminded me how important, and even just having Battle of the Belts and Collision. And I know people are gonna laugh, but you know, it just really reminded me like how important and good it is, this, like, that AEW's around, that TNA's thriving, there's a wrestling boom, it's coming back. There's so many reasons why wrestling's coming back. I truly believe that wrestling would have made, like, WWE would have hit this white hotness regardless if it wasn't for AEW, but it just wouldn't have happened yet. It would have taken a handful of more years. But obviously AEW and the fact Tony Khan throws $100 billion into pro wrestling doesn't hurt the industry either. That's for sure. But yeah. So basically, where do you guys want to start? I'm going to review some wrestling. I'm going to talk about Tony Khan and his meltdown. And I think I'll just start with the melty because we're talking about it. So more or less, what happened was, we need to bring you back to get the scope of this, right? So basically, Chris Jericho on Christmas has his little meltdown, okay? He tweets at Stephen P. New. Now, a lot of people think Stephen P. New was in the wrong because of this, because he was sort of, I don't know, he's out there doing podcasts. I think it's weird that someone's attorney's out there doing wrestling podcasts. pulling the curtain back, but I'm a mark, so I enjoy it. I enjoy all the shoot interviews. I like it all. So I'm here for it, but I definitely am not, I do agree that, yeah, that's kind of cringe, but shout out Stephen P. New. But either way, he's sort of stooging this and that about, I don't want to say stooging, but he's pulling the curtain back on the things that people aren't allowed to stooge in the land of stooges. So, and by that, I mean, what happened at Brawl Out and Brawl In, if you will, as well, because we would love to know. Because apparently, Tony Khan and AEW is the company where it's the safest record in the history of recorded time in history and space of pro wrestling. AEW is the safest place ever, but 3 or 4 months ago, I was on national television telling everyone that I feared for my life backstage at my work. But anyways, so Jericho has his little meltdown with Stephen P. New, talking shit. I was in the room. I this and that. Saying that, or implying rather, that Ace Steel's wife's actions were disgusting, or however he implied that. So then people started digging shit up on Jericho and his wife, and I don't know, he sort of brought it on himself. And then all of a sudden, pictures come out from, I think the guy's name is Steve Carrier, Ringside News. Pictures come out of him making out with a girl in an elevator, it looks like, or something that ain't his wife. And then stuff comes out about Kylie Rae, right? And these allegations and the NDAs, and there's lifetime NDAs. And not only did, and you guys, we have to bring it back a few steps. And I know you guys know, but we got to summate it all and preface it all, because it starts with the fact that Jericho said in this tweet, beyond calling out wives, he also said, I've never, ever, sorry, had to steal his gimmick. I've never, ever signed an NDA in my life, even though, like, that's bullshit. He's done movies, shooting music videos, people sign NDAs. Like, it's just bullshit. So regardless, there's some sort of confidentiality agreement, blah, 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 blah. So now the Kylie Rae stuff comes out, and apparently Jericho and Tony Khan had her sign an NDA. And I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at all of the circumstance, not the fucking, like, you guys know. I don't got to defend myself here. So he, like, whatever happened, Kylie never confirmed nor denied, but whatever happened is, she stepped away from the wrestling business, and apparently there was a lifetime NDA involved to get her out of her contract. This is the rumors going around. We went over it on the last show. So I think it sort of stems with that, because the pressure was on Tony Khan, and everyone's clowning him because at the fucking press conference, at the media scrum for Final Battle, the man sitting there looking like one of the dudes from Bedrock, one of the guys in fucking Fred Flintstone's bowling club with the fur hats, and he's got these glasses on, and he's answering this serious question about the Chris Jericho allegations, and giving this spiel about how AEW is the safest. It's the safest in recorded time in history and space. In the history, I stack it against any pro wrestling company. We're the safest in the entire universe. Despite the fact that we just saw on this last Dynamite, Darby, Sting, and Hobbs all almost die. Despite the fact we've seen Dante's Martin foot spin around. Despite the fact we see countless injuries and guys with broken orbitals and arms wrestling 30 fucking plus minute matches. And despite the fact that we have people falling off cranes and smashing their heads and getting busted open hard way, and despite the fact that we have Kyle O'Reilly and Thunder Rosa and people having near career-ending injuries there, and despite the fact that we have, or what is it like? Or are we talking about backstage where we've had Sammy Guevara get smacked? We've had Sammy Guevara get smacked by Kingston and Andrade. Backstage where CM Punk and Jack Perry fought? Or is it where you said you feared for your life after the Young Bucks and CM Punk and everyone had a big brawl where people were being bit and chairs were being thrown? Or is it countless other Ruby Soho wanting to smack Ty Mello out for a shoot? Or is it when Thunder Rosa got in a shoot with Ivelisse? Or is it when Thunder Rosa apparently hurt Jamie Hayter and she had to run and hide in a bathroom stall, or the reports that Meltzer and them came out with, right? So is it because she was scared that she was going to get jumped by Britt Baker and them? So which is it, right? Like what is the safest in the history of pro wrestling? Name the instances besides fucking Jericho going up to Brock. Like where's the instances of, oh, you hear Matt Riddle slapped Gunther and then Gunther laughed in his face, and that was the extent of it, right? So like where are the stories of like it being unsafe there in comparison? And I guess we'll talk about it now, but I feel like Tony Khan, or we'll talk about it in a bit, because there were some injuries in WWE and we'll talk about how they're handled differently, okay, between the companies. I just listed a myriad of ways of how this potentially isn't the safest company to work. And Tony Khan, though, in the history of time and space, it's great. Everything's great. And what's really great is how everybody's doing the it's great thing now. And we invented that here on PWT. Y'all know that. You can go back in the history books. I had analyzed 10 minutes of Tony Khan, and it's a video. I've plugged it a million times on the pod. People are probably sick of hearing about it, but just check out at Pro Wrestle Clips 10 minutes of Tony Khan, and it's 10 minutes of I just cut together every time Tony Khan appeared on the All Access show, the reality show. They tried to do that, failed horribly. Every moment he appears, other than I think one where he's running down the hall like a goofball, and just YouTube won't allow that to be on YouTube for whatever reason. I know why. He's literally a goofball waving at people. Hey, hey. It's so cringe. But anyways, it's 10 minutes of Tony Khan going, it's great. I love it. And it's just showing he loves soda water and he says it's great. So that's the joke on the show. It's been that way for months. So Tony Khan, though, everything's great. Safest fucking company in the world, according to him. And that's a complete and utter joke, rather. But it's not even that. It's a big deal. Like, I'm not sitting here like, oh, how dare he say, you guys know that. Like, even when he works the number for All In, I'm like, promoter's going to promote. Like, let him promote. And like, it's like when Vince with the steroid trial. Now, was he guilty of giving them steroids? Yeah. No, but he definitely knew about it and looked the other way. And is that, should he have had everything ripped away from him? No. Should Tony have everything ripped away from him because he's fucking dressed like a Scooby-Doo villain fucking with Tony Storm's hat on telling lies? No, he should, but he's a scumbag promoter like any scumbag promoter. Shout out all the scumbag promoters out there. I don't hate you guys, business, but what I'm saying is, if he's gonna be on his high horse about Vince and all that, and Jericho's gonna have this NDA shit, well, then he better be ready to deal with the heat and come with some transparency and say, listen, like, no, Jericho had nothing to do with that. That never happened. But he won't say that. And so what are they doing on Dynamite? We're seeing Jericho come out and his music plays during his whole run-in. And you can hear the boos underlying. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's boos underneath the fucking music. You can hear them. And they're trying to play the music over it. And then everybody who says, oh, WWE pipes and boos. Well, you better keep that same energy, as the kids say, because they're piping in cheers on Collision. They got Jericho on the tape shows. On Battle of the Belts, they turned the match with Ricky Starks and Big Bill and Sammy Guevara and Jericho. And they don't call them the Sex Gods. They're not referred to as the Sex Gods on Twitter or anything. They just completely dropped that moniker. And Jericho's going, Les Champions. That's what he's doing now. Good swerve. Jericho knows he knows what to do. He's smart. He really is. Say what you will about the man. He is a genius. He does know how to get over and how to because this too will pass. And we got to be honest here. There's no like hard evidence he did anything. People saying Nick Hausman backtracked. Nick Hausman did not backtrack. He doubled down. And if you don't realize that, people like to throw this term around, media literacy. You need some fucking media literacy, because Nick Hausman doubled down on the Jericho thing. If anything, if I'm Nick Hausman, bro, he's still submitting like media passes for AEW. Like, Jericho's going to clock that guy in the face. And and shout out Nick Hausman. There's got to be guys who are willing to stick their necks out in journalism and tell the truth. There is, but also at the same time, like, We don't know with Jericho, guys. We don't know. We can't just throw all these accusations around. It's too crazy to just but Kylie Rae hearting that fucking she hearted some comment in reference to it. Maybe that I don't know, right? I can't we don't know until we know or until she's willing to say something because you guys have to understand something too. These NDAs don't violate if criminal activity take place. You can break your NDA if it means someone has to go to fucking prison. Do you understand? Like that's usually people who have the power to keep you under that type of thumb, though. You don't want to piss those people off. Or they pay you a shitload of money so you can't talk. They probably paid her a shitload of money if that was the case, so she can't then go, oh, I felt, because you didn't feel that way when you took the money, which is it fucked up? Yeah. The world ain't perfect, guys, and I'm sorry. But, anyways, we're not going to get into that whole socio societal fucking rant there. Um, Sticking with the wrestling here. So, they're masking Jericho's booze and all of that. They did a street fight where he brawled in the backstage the whole time. And then by the time they came out, he just got thrown off of shit. And Sammy Guevara dives off this shit and lands and almost kills himself. And it was pretty cool, though. I won't lie. Sammy's crazy. And Starks and them defended their belts. Good shit. Good shit, pal. But uh, they're masking this shit. And it seems obvious what they're doing. And to bring it back to the press conference, it's like Tony Khan can't definitively say, no, Jericho did not do this shit, or he was not involved, or I don't recall this. I don't even recall that ever happening. There's no way. Like, if you can't even do something like that, then it seems guilty, but we can't go, guilt. But then when you start doing the things on the show, like let them get out there and get fucking booed and have people chant NDA. Like maybe, yeah, it's distaste, it's a bad look, but it's like let them do that then if it's not true. Like you got to go out there and own that shit, or he should have came out at the press conference. It's all of the things now added up. That makes you go, me, I don't know. Like I don't know. Not to cast stones, not to I like, but it goes. It just. How do they say? It gives. A little, it's just a little cringe. It's a little like you just are making it look worse, period. So I think Tony's feeling a lot of heat from that as we transition into now his meltdown against Jinder Mahal. So I just wanted to preface and summate basically all of the Jericho stuff, because I think really the heat starts with like his holidays, like the Christmas wasn't going good for them, and then you start the new year and it's going bad. And I just think he thought his 2024 would be going crazier. And they're saying, oh, WBD's touting AEW, and I mean, not to even diminish that, but they own a chunk of it, don't they? So I mean, of course, like that's why Fox doesn't and USA Network, who tie into all of this as well. This is why they don't tout WWE, even though they do, but they don't, because in the same way, because they don't own WWE. You know what I mean? And Tony, I think the reason nobody can ever compete with Vince is because he always owned his shit. WCW, even though they almost took him out, it was ultimately a Turner thing. If AEW is the same way and they're like, and WB owns a chunk, you're never going to beat Vince that way. You have to own your shit. In life, guys, the greatest thing you could do is own your own shit. I'll speak for myself. I've done every job under God's yellow fucking sun. Earth's yellow sun, whatever you want to, okay? Every job, fucking name it, I've done it, or some variation of it. And when I realized like working for myself is the hardest thing ever to do, but when you realize like, no, invest in yourself and put it all. And I know people hear this shit from rich people all the time. I'm by no mean fucking, Billy Billionaire over here. It's not one Bill Phil. It ain't even 1 mil Phil here over on PWT podcast, guys. Not even close. Not even by a stretch or a mile. But definitely happy Phil, working for himself Phil's own boss Phil. doesn't, fuck you, Phil, sort of thing. The fucking it's there. We could say that. So, um, and that's a good thing, and that's the best thing. I got to tell you guys, man, if I could encourage anything, invest in your goddamn self, find something you love and jump into it. I wouldn't be able to do this pod if I didn't take those necessary steps and if I didn't get the support from all you motherfuckers. So, when with Tony Khan, he has the support system, but he doesn't even own his own shit. Is that what they mean to tell me? And he's trying to sit there and act like he even has a dog in this fight. ROH had Sinclair or whatever, right? Like you can't that's what everybody was fearful about UFC as well when they merged with Endeavor. It was like they don't own their own shit, and now WWE's on that as well. But luckily, UFC, if you guys, now I don't mean to, again, you guys know I don't like to get political, but like, they'll parade Donald Trump out there at UFC's. Like they don't give a fuck about no fucking political backlash, and WWE never did either, and Endeavor really doesn't either. Now they might with some of their other things they own, but when it comes to WWE and UFC, I'm telling you, that's like this whole, they understand that who pays for this shit. It's fucking young dudes, man. We're not over here getting emotional about Joe Biden and shit like this. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's fucking, we're over here getting emotional about fucking pro wrestling and other shit that's actually entertaining that is fake. You know what I mean? So, anyways, though, not to get off on this rant, but yeah, so if Tony Khan doesn't own his own shit, then it's a little, like, entirely, then it's a little hard for him to stand on business. And of course WWE, WBD is going to tout them around. Of course that's going to happen. But with that being said, I'm not like shitting on that again. Like, networks, stand up for your fucking companies. Like, run that shit up that you put on your station. Of course, do that. And the reason I went off on yet another tangent is because, and brought up Fox and the networks and everything, yet again, is because this, again, so Tony Khan's feeling the pressure from the Jericho shit, and then you have WWE on Fox throwing shots, and you have USA Twitter accounts shooting shots at fucking Tony Khan, man. And it set him off, and he melted down. And then he started talking shit on my boy Jinder Mahal, who you can check my Twitter. When Randy Orton lost the belt to Jinder Mahal, I was all about it. And you can see that on day one, when Jinder Mahal came out, I quote tweeted it at ProWrestleTimes on X. When Jinder Mahal came out, I popped super fucking hard, and I said, yo, Jinder, let's fucking go. What a good swerve. And I put a Canadian flag because, yes, he's Punjabi. He's from India, but he is born in Canada. He was either raised in, I think he's from Calgary. I believe he was born in Canada, may have just been raised there. Not sure, but same with The Rock. Canadians, yeah, 2 Canadians in that segment, bro. I'm telling you. Bieber, The Weeknd, Drake. Think about the funniest guy, Seth Rogen, Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, all Canadian, bro. And then you got our boys, The Rock and Jinder Mahal, fucking Canadians. Let's get a yeah for Canada.
Yeah.
No joke, like 91% of the listeners are American. You guys are probably like, yuck, fuck you. USA, US. Yeah, The Rock's out there, Canadian, getting USA chants going. Oh, fuck. So, USA Network and Fox. I need to drink some Red Bull. I also have water too, guys. We stay hydrated. I also have a soda water. I've got an AHA sparkling water, a blueberry pomegranate. It's great. It's my favorite flavor. I drink one after a Jericho match. Haha. So, basically, the Jacksonville Jaguars that the Khan family owns, they were eliminated from the playoffs. And so they put a tweet out, the Jacksonville Jaguars did, and they put a tweet out saying tickets are on sale for next season. And then WWE on Fox responded to them to that Jacksonville Jaguars tweet with the Kurt Angle meme of his. You guys all know the Kurt Angle meme. It's so beyond mainstream now. The Kurt Angle meme, the Kurt Angle face, that he fucking like. There's people asking, like, you can go on Reddit and there's people like, who is this guy? Like, why is this face so perfect? And yeah, shout out Kurt Angle for that. Probably just raised his stock a shit ton. But anyways, they responded to the Jacksonville Jaguars tickets being on sale with the Kurt Angle face meme. Now, we touched on it on this show, I think a couple times, but Colin Cowherd and these NFL guys, they shit on Tony Khan and Jacksonville as it is, because for tarping off their football seats as well. Like, they don't sell out for their football games. They go to London. Like, Colin Cowherd's called that shit out. He's like, you have fucking, he didn't say this, but it's like, you have like Trevor Lawrence, there's the star quarterback of the league, the guy who everyone is like, oh, he'll be the next Brady and shit. He gets fucking hurt. They don't even have a cart for him. As we just saw in this last Dynamite, they got Sammy Guevara crashing and breaking carts over Ricky Starks. Like, that's getting anyone over. So the NFL people clown Tony Khan too, because they don't sell fucking Jacksonville Jaguar tickets. They tarp off sections and they got to go to London like they did with AEW to sell a billion tickets, because it's a novelty thing. You know what I mean? It's and the NFL is like, say what you will, dude. Like, I was on a resort in Mexico. You turn on the fucking fuzzy TV and they got, with 7 people in the crowd, there's more people on the field than are in the crowd of like this Latin America football league. Football's powerful. I'm from Canada. The CFL is the shit. You know what I mean? So it's powerful stuff. Football is. So he goes to London to sell tickets. He gets shit from the Jaguars too. So they tweet that out. And then the USA Network. So now the people Booker T confirmed this on his podcast. Shout out Booker T, and shout out his co-host. I forget the goddamn name, but I love Hall of Fame. And shout out Reality of Wrestling. But Booker T revealed on his pod, he said, the people who tweet the shit out now, I said this way before when the whole Jay Briscoe debacle happened with WWE on Fox. It's some fucking 23-year-old girl intern who doesn't really, like, she just understands social media. She doesn't know pro wrestling and shit. Like, she does, but she doesn't really, So Booker T confirmed that. Like, his co-host said, God, I should remember his God. It's like Gilbert or something. I'm so sorry for forgetting it. But he said, WWE on Fox Twitter, that's ran independently of WWE. Like, WWE doesn't run that. And Booker T's like, that's correct. And it's the same thing with USA Network. WWE doesn't run USA Network's fucking Twitter. You know what I mean? So you guys all got mad. Maria Kanellis, everyone got mad at some intern who works at WWE on Fox or whatever. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, though, so then Tony gets roasted with that. Everyone's laughing. Tony Khan said on some conference call leading into whatever, he's like, I encourage the networks to look at the cage match ratings and what those do and what the fans like for the matches, the cage match ratings. And I lost all hope for Tony in that moment. So then USA Network gets at Tony Khan as well. A tweet is put out. A tweet was put out of at the Rajgiri. Shout out Rajgiri, man. We've gone back and forth before, but we see eye to eye way more than we disagree. So Rajgiri says, he tweets out a picture of Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal and says, these guys do have history. Seth Rollins defeated Jinder Mahal in the tournament finals to become the first NXT champion. Yeah, which is true. So Jinder Mahal was in the segment with The Rock. Jinder Mahal comes out this week and interrupts Seth Rollins, and he's going to challenge Seth Rollins tomorrow night on Raw at the time of recording this. And so at USA Network responds to this and goes, what was the cage match rating? Oh my goodness, dude. When I saw that shit, we have below it at Kenny Thoughts, a Kenny for your thoughts. He tweets out the picture of Cody laughing at the press conference and goes, who is running this account? And it's so true. Like, they just fucking cooked. That's just cooking Tony Khan. I'm so sorry, but like, oh man. And it's shitty that people are Gotta fire F at Tony, but it just tells you that like the television networks are laughing the cage match rating. Imagine telling that to a fucking television executive, bro. So what was the cage match rating? Tony Khan dies. It instigates this whole melty, which we're gonna get to. So Tony Khan quote tweets, "What was the cage match rating?" And this is what this guy says. Here, I'm gonna smoke just a little before, because it's ridiculous. Don't smoke cigarettes, folks. I definitely don't. Get a little hydrated. So Tony Khan, he quote tweets this and says, "A moral victory for USA is one win more than their world title challenger, Jinder Mahal, has in the past 364 days." Oh, like, what is he even saying? This is Tony Khan. This guy runs AEW, okay? He goes, "A moral victory for USA is one win more than their world title challenger, Jinder Mahal, has in the past 364 days. What? Because it's been literally a full year since he won a match. Okay. You really put AEW in our place getting Jinder Mahal in a big match on your TV show. Do it more often." Man, Tony, fuck you, bro. Like, for real, dude. Fuck. This is the first one, and I'm already mad. Hey, fuck you. Straight up. Like, that's some fucking bullshit. Like, what did Jinder do? Like, what are you mad about? What, fucking watch your own. He's sitting there watching the other show while writing his 3 shows. And fucking sitting there, like, you know, dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Yeah. I have some relatives who I told you guys over the holidays I was putting on all the wrestling, WWE, AEW, and they started calling it Krusty W. Okay, I didn't. This is me. I don't even like saying this because people are going, "You're making that up." I'm not. These are young folk. Okay, calling it Krusty W, like laughing. Okay, because I put it on right after WWE, and I'm sorry. So it's just, and they deserve this shit. It's like, what is going on here, Tony? What are you doing? Okay, what did Jinder do? Good job getting him in a big match. Yeah, yeah, that's what they do. Do you know why? I've explained it a million times. WWE's like a league. When you're in WWE, you compete under WWE rule sets and WWE divisions for WWE championships. When you go off, when they do the rare thing where you compete in AJ All Japan, or you do these things, you compete under their rule sets in these other companies for their titles other places. What AEW is pulling up to the indie spot in a big venue. It's just a mesh of all the indies. It's just, we like GCW, so we'll do that, and then we'll do some New Japan, and then we'll do some WWE, and we'll just steal everyone else's shit because I'm a fan of everyone else's shit. Haha. That's what it is. It's fucking okay. We're gonna, I don't know. I just broke it down right there. I don't even need to get into it more. It's just random booking, cool matches, and when you wrestle in AEW, you can show up with your belt from another company, get introduced in kilos instead of pounds, and then you don't fight under AEW rules. You fight under ROH rules in AEW. You fight under GCW rules in AEW. You fight under AAA rules in AEW. And people go, "No, that's cool." No, it's not. And that's not, a little bit of everything for everybody. That's not being a good businessman. That's not understanding the market. There's a reason why Japanese wrestling works in Japan. There's a reason why pro wrestling, American style works in America. Now, there's a reason why you can put it all in the WWE under their rule set with their divisions and have it all work and have the best variety. That's how you'd package it. That's in WWE. Think about it. You have Dragon Lee. You have some of the best cruiserweights in the world, man. And you have Gunther, and you have big heavyweights like Drew McIntyre, and you have the social media guy like Logan Paul. You have the best luchadors. You have the best British strong style. You have the best women's wrestling. So you have all that shit, and it's under this umbrella of here's WWE and our rule set and our calendar. Here's the calendar, so you know Money in the Bank here, Royal Rumble here, da 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 here. In AEW, we don't know. Winter is coming. Is Full Gear a pay-per-view this year? Is it just a TV special? We don't know. Is Fyter Fest what is what? Where's your special? Is there a battle royal to name a number one contender here? Or is there a battle royal Rumble to name the number one contender here? There's no real rhyme or reason to anything, and people come and defend their indie belts and their fucking AAA belts under AAA rules. In WWE, the divisions are clear. Jinder Mahal's a former champ. In WWE, it's like fucking being in the UFC, okay? It's just like Bellator and these guys. Oh yeah, we'll let the Bellator champ go fight in Ryzen and have a boxing match and do this and do that. Now, do I like when the UFC does that? Yes, for certain people, absolutely. In certain circumstances, everything's circumstantial, but UFC doesn't do that. So George St. Pierre, if he's defended his belt 14 times, and then he goes, you know what? Nick Diaz is talking shit, and I don't like him. And even though Nick Diaz lost his last fight, he's still a world-renowned, world-class guy who's been a multi-time world champion. So I want to fuck this guy up. And they can do that, and it makes sense. It doesn't make sense in AEW because I thought Hook's the FTW champion. So what's the FTW division? So you had one FTW rules match with Yuta, and then they had an ROH pure rules match with Yuta and Hook. So what is it? What is the divisions? What are the rules, Tony? Sports based? No, it's not. What is the FTW division? Just say this is our hardcore division, and this is where we'll circle in deathmatch guys, and this is where RVD will come fight. This is where hardcore shit will go down. All the chaos carnage is in our FTW division. There you go. Then we fucking know. And then it makes sense if whatever. But it's like, what's Hook doing? So Hook wins his belt so he can go challenge for Yuta's ROH belt and lose. And then he can go challenge for the AEW world title and lose. And all that's predicated on the fucking 28-1 record that doesn't mean shit, bro, because he's beating jobbers on fucking Collision and Rampage and shit. He's beating these are like random fucking tag matches with Danhausen. Like, just the fact Tony doesn't understand that, all hope is lost right there on a fundamental level. Like, he's too, like, I thought he was like me mark. Like, oh, this guy, like when I first saw Tony Khan, I was like, he gets it. He knows a lot about wrestling, but he's not going to do the dumb mark shit. And he's not going to do the overbearing businessman shit. He's going to be right in the middle. And I bet this shit's going to take off because this dude probably smokes weed and he probably reads the internet and is able to take criticism because I don't know. I grew up in the same age as Tony Khan, dude. And he's a little older than me. Well, no, actually, I think I don't know his age. Let me look. He's actually probably quite a bit older than me. Not like quite a bit, but I'm going to Google his age right now. But the thing is like, I grew up with thick skin because of it. You guys see it. If you go on our comments, if you go on X, I have fun. Like, we're not out here casting hate. Like, I would rather you come troll me and then I'll try and convert you with conversation into being a listener. And I feel like I've done that with a bunch of people. A lot of people we get way more love than hate, but the thing is like, I'm not like one of these people, yeah, welcome the hate, fuck the haters, blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. I don't even care about it like that, but it's just like, don't just shoo all the criticism away. Like, if someone comes in criticizing you, like, yeah, the people who hate you are going to try and say the realest shit. They're like over analyzing, wanting to be smart about it. So it's good I've always believed in this, man. You can expunge something good from everything. Like, in every instance in life, in every performance you see on a stage, in every podcast you listen to, in every song, even if it's bad, extrapolate the good, filter out the negative, like figure out what you can learn from everything, even if it is a bad thing, that's the way I approach it. But I didn't realize Tony Khan doesn't approach it that way. So yeah, Tony Khan's like 10 years older than I am. And we're both October babies. That's right. Yeah. October 10 when he had the meltdown. So yeah, he's a decade older than I am. So, so yeah, I guess he was even older. So I don't know. Maybe that's like a generation before. Maybe he was like didn't take it the right way. Maybe it really fucked him up being in those, because like by the time I'm coming around, like I grew up with the internet. Like I remember when the internet wasn't in everyone's houses, and then all of a sudden it's in everyone's houses. I remember no one had cell phones, then all of a sudden everybody's got cell phones. So the thing with TK is, you know, maybe it really, he didn't have a, like I grew up though, it's like you got to understand people on the internet are fucking stupid. Maybe it's only like half my generation realizes that, maybe. But either way, dude, it's like you can't, just the fact just the cage match ratings, and then him going, Jinder Mahal big match on your TV, like taking shots at Jinder, like fuck you. It's craziness. So either way, then this burned and spiraled into a bunch of shit. And so Tony Khan then tweets this out. At Tony Khan, he says, a double standard. At 730 Hook, 28-1 career record, on winning streak, calls out the champ. A logical challenge sparks online outrage. Tony, there was no outrage. When you booked Hook versus Joe, to me, I don't know what Tony sees. I don't like when Tony opens his Twitter, because here's the thing, Twitter purposefully pushes shit on you that's going to make you mad and react, because people react to negative more. So realize that when you're seeing all these idiots on your timeline, just mute them or ignore them, or block them. People go, oh, how do you block? You block? Yes. I never used to. I used to be like this. I don't block. No, dude, block people. The fuck? You want like weird energy in your life? It's fucking weird. Anyways, so Tony is seeing crazy negative shit. He has to be, and he must be like really reading in with like a burner or something. Like he must be really going in reading this shit, because where's the outrage when he booked Hook versus Joe? First off, I went, oh cool, Joe's gonna beat Hook, but I like Hook, so put him in the big positions. That was my reaction personally. I didn't see, and people call me an AEW hater. I got all the drones, man. I got everybody in my algorithm. No one was talking shit about it. They were just like, this whole devil shit's dumb. My criticism was, you put fucking Hangman and Swerve out there, so we just know that Hook's gonna lose. We know that Hook's gonna lose. WWE might fuck around and actually put a belt on Jinder Mahal. Okay? They might actually do that. WWE's savage enough to do something like that. Tony Khan, though, we know like Joe's just gonna beat Hook, probably choke him out. So like, they just made it obvious that they're setting up to like some sort of three-way with Swerve and Hangman, or like a number one contender, because they're in there with Joe. Like they just bypassed Hook and told us what the next thing is. And that's what Tony Khan always does. Because Tony Khan goes, yeah, and tomorrow night, like at the press conference, he's like, tomorrow night, Orange Cassidy has a title defense against this guy. And Penta El Zero Miedo said if you make it past him, then he would like to challenge you on the next Battle of the Belts. So then we just know Orange Cassidy's going to win and challenge, and Penta's going to challenge him. Like, Tony stooges his own shit all the time. He doesn't get it. This is why he stooges to Meltzer. He doesn't get how he steps on his own dick all the time with this stuff. So anyways, Tony Khan says that Hook garnered all this online outrage. I never saw it. And then Tony continues. He says, Jinder has literally lost every single match he's in for the past year, immediately gets title shot. Where is the rage? Hashtag AEW Dynamite tomorrow on TBS. Oh man. And people are just like shout out at Julian Weeks. He goes, I cannot believe this is a real tweet. And man, it's so true. And I feel bad for TK with this, but it's just like, I don't know, man. There was no rage. I saw the WWE people criticizing it, like, no, they're going to give him a title shot and everything. And I'm like, well, yeah, they just need people for Seth to beat. Like, and Jinder's a guy. Like, he fucked around and beat Orton out of nowhere and got a push. And people are like, oh, he only got a push because of his India. They were trying to move into the Indian market. It's like, thank God these people don't run businesses. Dude, no way. They're trying to make a run at the Indian market. And so that's like a criticism that they tried to fucking, because like we talk about it before on the show, like India, they're great for eyeballs and social media impressions for sure. They are not great as far as like overhead and American dollars and generating money, as far as like, yeah, whatever, without diving into the whole money aspect of everything. It's how it is. That's why WWE doesn't go do, like, they'll do a show in India, or they'll do like a little tour there, but they don't do like they trying to do that. There's still everyone's trying to do that. UFC's trying to put a performance institute in India to get start getting these India fighters and get like the 105-pound divisions going and 115-pound divisions going for men and stuff. They're trying to do that. They've been looking at that for years. NXT India. No, maybe not that, but anyways, but pro wrestling's so big there. And yeah, fucking they bring eyeballs to social media, especially. That's why they get this, and social media impressions on like YouTube translate to money. Of course it's a grind. YouTube, anyone who knows, like we just got monetized, PWT's monetized, yeah, but there's no fucking, this ain't paying bills or nothing, but definitely the more we get shared around, the better it is. You got 1 million people watching your fucking rock video. That's going to make you a good chunk of change for the average Joe. You know what I mean? For WWE, it's like, oh, we'll just put that YouTube money on top of this pile of money over here. For someone like PWT or one of these other companies, even AEW, with them losing hundreds of millions, you could use the goddamn money. So from the Indian eyeballs. So it's weird to even criticize that. Like, yeah, put the strap on Jinder. Jinder has a great body. He works good. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't hurt people. I don't know. He looks like you want to hate him. He's like an asshole. You see his face and he's just got that face where like, yeah, this guy's a prick, so it's money in the bank all the way, either way. So that's crazy that's a real tweet. So then fucking Eric Bischoff gets into the fray. I'm back and better than ever. And Eric Bischoff recently discovered, oh, holy shit, I get paid for these impressions that I get on my Twitter. Eric Bischoff is getting that YouTube money and that fucking X money, and he's going, oh shit, I just realized, because he's been going off. And so Eric Bischoff gets it from a bunch of angles here. So Eric Bischoff quote tweets this double standard tweet that Tony Khan put out. That's fucking ridiculous, by the way. Like, Tony's talking about it like it's a shoot. Like, okay, buddy, you go to the MMA forums and you'll start making sense with, like, this is pro wrestling. How to get a soda water? And so Eric Bischoff, and guys, hit like at Pro Wrestle Clips, at Pro Wrestle Times on YouTube. Like, sub, all that good shit. Tell a friend. Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. You get early access to the episode. You get a bunch of other content. And guys, I'm uploading a bunch more in January, I promise you. And shout out our new patrons. But anyways, so Eric Bischoff quote tweets Tony Khan with the double standard tweet, and he just puts a fucking clown emoji. Which I'll like right now because I didn't like. And this shit got 1.8 million impressions, and he's got 3 or 4 of these in like a day. So we're talking, man's probably making a bit of chunk of change there, right? So he quote tweets clown. So now where do I go from here? So there's like a couple avenues here because Eric starts getting it from different angles. So let's just go. We'll start with Dax Harwood, right? So Dax Harwood goes, this you? He quote tweets Eric's quote tweet with the clown face and goes, is this you? And he plays this clip of Eric Bischoff from a Nitro, which I'll just play for you guys here. It's like 40 seconds long.
So Vince McMahon, this is for you. I'm coming to your backyard this Sunday. That's right, Worcester, Mass. Got a little pay-per-view thing going on. And I got a hell of an idea. Just a hell of an idea. You want me? I'm going to be in your backyard.
So yeah, it's Eric Bischoff challenging Vince McMahon to a fight.
Vince McMahon,
I don't want to get striked. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? On the last episode, shout out my guy Marv the Movie Monster. On the last episode, I played his parody of Chris Jericho's Judas song, and it got shared revenue. It didn't get stricken or hit with a copyright thing, but it was like, oh, you have to split the revenue with Judas or whatever, the record company, because this is a parody version of their song or whatever. That was the first time in my YouTube tenure pardon me, that I've ever seen anything like that. And it was weird, guys. So I just fucking clipped it right out of the episode. Anyways, so the difference is here, Dax. So I don't know. Dax has been going to bat hard for AEW and good. Step up as a locker room leader. If there's ever a time for you to step up and be that guy, now's the time. But Dax, it won't be long till you start having to punch people in the fucking face. I'm about to tell you that right now. So, but Dax is going to bat, and but the difference is that Dax, he was challenging Vince to fight straight up. Tony Khan wouldn't fight. The dude couldn't fight a cold. Okay. So let's be real about that. Secondly, he was on TV at the same time that Monday Night Raw was saying this. He was actually competing head to head. And thirdly, it's Bischoff taking a shot at Vince. It's not him calling out one of the boys. Why the fuck you calling out? Why the fuck you talk? This is Bischoff saying, yo, come and shoot fight me in the ring. It's not Tony marking out like a geek thinking that the shoot record, the worked record's a shoot that he made. Like, do you know what I mean, dude? This is like, it's like Tony Khan colored a picture and made the sky purple or red, and he's mad that when he looks up at the sky, it's fucking blue. You know? Is that a good analogy? Maybe that's a bad analogy. I don't know. But so, Dax, I get what you're doing. Like, yes, stand up for your company, but I don't know, buddy. That's not really the way to go. So, but Dax was good. He was like tweeting out. He's like, wrestling's back and all this shit. And it's true, man. This weekend really reminded me of that, dude. Like, wrestling's really back, like all over, man. There's heat everywhere. So Bischoff got it from there. And then him and Dax started getting into it. So I can just follow up with that, I guess, because I saw a couple. I have them bookmarked here. So Tony Khan Eric Bischoff tweeted out at eBischoff. He goes, hey, at DaxFTR, I hope all is well and you have a great 2024. I'm going in depth on some of your recent comments for Monday's episode of 83 Weeks. But is this what you mean by quote unquote thriving? Because he said like wrestling's thriving. And then Bischoff posted the ratings down 7% from last week for Rampage, down 25% from last year. And then the key demo is down 26% from last week and down 17% from last year. AEW's hurting, man. TNA is going to come from behind and swoop it. Watch. But yeah, so he kind of taking a shot back, right? Eric Bischoff taking a bit of a shot back, and then someone else quote tweeted and went, people don't forget. And it was in January of 2023 to the day, on the 15th of January 2023. Okay, 1 year ago to the day almost that we are listening to this together. Or 1 year ago to the day, actually. Dax FTR was talking with Eric Bischoff and said, and Eric Bischoff tweeted to Dax and said, looking forward to it, your podcast, continued success. And Dax says, thank you, Eric. Big fan of 83 Weeks. Weekly download on my phone. I steal a lot of your podcast formulas. So it's like weird that Dax is now batting for Tony. Oh, the difference 1 year makes. So they kind of went back and forth at it. I don't know, man. I don't know if Dax responded to that. But hold on. Let me just quickly scroll through my bookmarks to see. No, okay. So now let's Tony Khan and Jonathan Coachman and Eric Bischoff get into it. So here we'll talk about. Yeah, so we have okay, so Tony Khan gets into it with Bischoff, right? With Eazy. And so okay, I'm trying to just find it in chronological order, but I believe so right here we have Bischoff responds to Dax. He says, a bucks. That little thing, strap in. It's just the beginning. I'm just getting warmed up or whatever. Okay, whatever. So Tony Khan responds with a meme to Eric Bischoff with a lady. I'm not even sure who this is. And it says, get out of my sight, you miserable has-been. Oh, da-doonts. Da-doonts. You sure? You got him, Tony. You got him. And it's crazy. that they're going at it like this. But it is also nuts that Tony Khan is calling him a has-been and shit. It's fucked, man. Like, Tony, you could learn from Bischoff here. So and then Eric Bischoff quote tweets that in response to it, groundbreaking, miserable has been. And then it's a picture of him walking down the ramp at an AEW Dynamite, and his name card says Eric Bischoff, groundbreaking pro wrestling executive. So he just cooks Tony right there. Boom. And then somebody says, so Eric starts going off talking about, he starts responding to everyone who criticizes AEW and goes, well, what are you, a bot? You're a bot, right? So let me see here. So somebody says to Tony, or to Eric, pardon me, they go, don't forget that Abaddon got a title shot. Tony forgets that he literally gave Abaddon a title shot after being off AEW TV for over a year. The same exact situation as Jinder. And Eric Bischoff goes, hey, at Tony Khan, is this true or is it a bot? Oh, man, I'm sorry. The trolling's just like, I feel so bad for the dude, man. Honestly, I fucking do. But it is funny, man. You can't lie. Because Tony brings it on himself. Anyways. Tony responds to it and goes, hey, Tony, is this true? Is it a bot? Tony quote tweets it and goes, no, Eric Bischoff, not true at all. Abaddon returned to AEW. Plus, then they won a 4-way match on TNT against other great wrestlers to earn a title shot, which is completely different than someone going a full year, losing every match they're in, plus getting a title shot without a single win. Tony, Abaddon you brought back on Halloween because she's spooky, and then she beat a fucking nobody, and then you shoehorned her into this 4-way title shot and have her beat 3 other women that have been on TV for the last 2 years, and fucking Abaddon hasn't been. And then she wins this match, and then she just jobs to your champion. No one got over from that. You buried all your roster. You diminish everyone. You diminish Saraya. You diminish Ruby Soho. You diminish all these people for Abaddon, and then Abaddon just gets jobbed and then gets beat up by 2 girls, and then Thunder Rosa has to run out and make the save. That is way worse than Mahal, who's a weaselly heel, who fucking beat Orton out of nowhere, who's going to show up and just calls out Seth, and they do have this history within the confines of WWE. Not history like, and oh my God, back in PWG, these 2 fought to a draw, and so tonight on Collision, they're having a no-draw Texas death match. Like real history within the confines of the context of WWE. Do you understand, Tony? Jesus, I thought you were a mark like me, bro. I thought you got it. I thought you understood this stuff, bro. Losing every match in a year. Name one Jinder Mahal match. Name one Hook match. Exactly my point. That's let me just drop myself a fucking bomb. Where's my bomb? I need a fucking bomb. I'll do a drum roll until I find my goddamn stuff. Okay, Tony Khan, how don't you understand that? Name a Hook win, name a Mahal loss. That's how much they matter. Do you know what matters more? Their history, the fact that they put Mahal in with The Rock, which got everyone talking about him, and then they whip him in there with Seth, which gets everyone talking about them. People talking about Mahal more than Seth. Poor Seth. But it's just not even on the same level. So it's just crazy that Tony Khan's even saying this shit. So he says that. And then where is this reading would be? Okay. So Tony Khan then says reading would be your friend, Eric. And that was in response to, yeah. So then he responds to his own quote tweet. That's some shit I would do. If I had a billionaire, I wouldn't even have Twitter. Someone else would run my fucking Twitter. Do you understand? And so Tony Khan says reading would be your friend, Eric. And Eric responds to that and goes, "Oh, kid, my reading comprehension skills are wizard-like. By the way, that was one of Dave Meltzer's wicked comebacks whenever he'd get called out on his BS. Coincident, or are you really that deep?" And that's a fact. That is a Meltzer line through and through. And Dave Meltzer, so Meltsy Saltsy, Uncle Dave, man, he has me blocked, so I can't even see the shit he was saying during this meltdown. Other people, yeah, so here I pulled it up right here, thank goodness, because he's got me blocked, and like I don't know, he blocked me for like I never was like, "Dave, fuck you, man." It's just I was just laughing at him because the shit he'd say. So this is what Dave says in defense of fucking AEW, and you cannot tell me these people don't get paid or are happy to be friends. And we'll talk about it with other people, these other Fightful accounts, and these fucking, they call it Phil the Shill. Hey, I officially made the WWE Shop affiliate program. I'm officially partnered with WWE Shop and Fanatics. So make sure you hit the link below when you guys want to shop. You directly support me as well as WWE and your favorite WWE superstars. But people call me Phil the Shill. I give everything a fair shake. Go look at my ex. I even give AEW a fair shake about when they run smaller buildings and all this sort of shit. But this is Shill Shillington, bro. This is Will Shill Shillington. Shilly Shell Shillington over here. But anyways, Dave Meltzer jumps into the conversation. He says, "Dude, sorry I prepped you for that Landsberg interview." Holy shit! Oh my god. It's like, dude, listen to how fucking the Landsberg interview from 1996 or whatever. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Dude, sorry I prepped you for that Landsberg interview where you made the claim like about how you averaged 5,400 tickets sold the prior year and bragged about it. The guy didn't have Hogan, Flair, Savage, or Piper and has doubled the ticket prices and equaled your number. One of us actually studies numbers. The other calls names because he can't remember nor has any research capabilities. Oh, shit. Dave getting in there. Dave's getting personal, man. He's getting crazy and wild. God damn. Dave's a stooge. We know that. He's talking about some shit from 1996. I'm not going to discredit anything he said, but he's talking about the time Eric Bischoff called him for the numbers on his ticket sales. Yeah, there wasn't the internet, Dave. Yeah, you keep good. No one. See, these guys are so. This is why they're just such in a bubble. Like, they can't see past. It's like almost sociopathic. It's like, or what's the word? People throw that shit around. "Oh, I dated a narcissist." No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. But like, it is almost that way where it's like, dude, you guys like Dave remembers that. That was like a shining moment in his life where Eric Bischoff called me. That's why I know so much. Bischoff even called me once to fucking ask numbers. Like, these are people being marks for them goddamn selves. What's happening, Pro Wrestle Times listeners? It's your boy Phil Marks here, and I just wanted to take 1 second of your time to tell you about our partnership and affiliation with WWE Shop and Fanatics. That's right, folks. Pro Wrestle Times PWT is officially partnered with WWE Shop and Fanatics. Now, if you'd like to support the show, check out the link below and get your favorite WWE superstar merch, tees, caps, hoodies, and so much more with WWE Shop through Pro Wrestle Times' special affiliate link below. Use that, and it's a great way to support the podcast. It's a great way to support your favorite WWE superstar, and it's a great way to support your drip. Those CM Punk hoodies, man, come on. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and maybe your significant other is a mark like me and wants that new LA Knight tee. Yeah. Head to WWE Shop right now using PWT's special affiliate link below and get you some now. Back to the show. I don't know, it's weird. And then you have like this guy over here, not to take shots, but this Colby Fightful and Body Slam. Colby at Fightful, of course, leave it to a Fightful guy. He goes, "If you don't like Tony Khan defending his wrestling company against his biggest opposition, maybe you should create your own wrestling company and run it the way that you'd like to run it." People talk about privilege in this world. I don't know. That seems very privileged-y to say shit like that. What kind of weird elitist? Yeah, I'll just get my dad's $1 billion and dump it into a pro wrestling company. Yeah, I'll just do that. Like, what kind of weird? Maybe you should get your own promotion down and run it your way. Okay, Mr. Fightful. Like, you know what I mean, man? That's the shit where it's like, that's who you guys hire. Now, I'm not, whatever. There was a news story I read. You know, some company asked some lady, like, what do you hate about Batman? You know? And she's like, I don't hate Batman. Like, why? I love Batman. That's why I'm in this. I work in this. I want to work in movies or comics or whatever it was. And they're like, well, we don't like Batman. So why do you hate him? That was like her job interview. There was like a news story about that I read maybe like a year or two ago. It seems, it's like, is that what they do for Fightful? What do you hate? How much do you hate CM Punk and how much do you love Tony Khan? That's how you get a job. Like, Jesus Christ. So, the last little bits of the banter here, and then we'll get into some of the other responses and we'll talk some other shit. So basically, Eric Bischoff caps it off and says, at Tony Khan, a thought on tonight's war's bittersweet end in words that echo from a barred-long friend. When swords are seethed and battle cease to be, a bittersweet taste lingers for all to see. Good night, 83 Weeks fans. So, I don't know. Shout out Eric Bischoff, man. Obviously, he's getting his and he's milking it, but he's allowed to talk that shit. Tony talked too much shit about... He's just talked too much shit. He's got it coming. You don't see Scott D'Amore doing this. You know what I mean? And so just people's reactions. So at the Coach Rules, shout out Jonathan Coachman. He also responded. He quote tweeted Tony Khan's tweet of a moral victory for USA. Blah, blah, blah. So the coach tweets out, he goes, we also used to get amused at fans who counted wins like wrestlers. Like wrestlers earned them. Boom. Right there, Tony. Like they laugh at, that's called you're being a mark. Now I'm a mark and you're a mark, but when you get into the pro wrestling business, you can't then keep being a mark. Or like still be a fan, but like obviously, like is Vince McMahon not a fan of wrestling? Of course he is, but like you can't be a mark, dude. So the coach says, hell, if Vince wanted, I could have been world champion, but the storyline didn't support it. It's about the story clearly not wins in a predetermined space. Thought a boss would understand that. Boom, dropped a bomb. And also people mad at this. Like there was like 10 news articles written about this after. And the coach was like, look at how fucking stupid the mainstream media is, or just media in general. Like, how is this a news story? Coach said he could have been WWE champion. Yeah, man, David Arquette was champion, guys. This isn't a headline, you thirsty click demons. And that's what I mean. You have Sean Ross Sapp responding to people going, oh, like calling out their bullshit news going, oh, you fucking... Oh, if you could afford a blue check. It's like, dude, we're not brain dead clout zombies like you. We don't all need to make $1 off every click. We're just laughing at you fucking clowns. Like, we're enjoying the wrestling. God damn it. So then just some wrestlers respond. So like while this shit was going on, you have Amanda Huber, shout out Amanda Huber, Brody Lee's widow, shout her out in -1, and Amanda Huber, and she tweets out Patton Oswalt, like just the gif of him, whatever. And then Swerve Strickland tweets out Chris Brown, like a meme of like he's unimpressed. Ricky Starks tweets out, he goes, man, can my coworkers just shut the fuck up for a minute? And it's like, yeah, no doubt. Like for once. Even Brian Alvarez, who's been being way more vocal, as well, he had this to say. So
you know, here's the thing.
He had this to say, which I will play. This is like a 2-minute clip here. And I've been even saying it, man, like shout out Alvarez. Like, honestly, he's been keeping it a little more real, and I don't know what's going on there, but there comes a point where every man, where you go, okay, you just got to speak the truth, man. So here's what Brian Alvarez had to say about the tweet. And it's just like, man, at least he's being real about this, you know? Because like someone on that side's gotta be. We can't all just be scared and not pulling Tony Khan aside and being like, listen, dude, like you're fucking You're crazy. Like this is not right. Anyways, here's what Brian Alvarez thinks.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I got a lot of tweets. Yes, it was the exact same thing as last time. Got a lot of tweets from people in AEW. They were like, why is he doing this on Twitter? This is embarrassing. That's what they said. They said it last time too. I'm sure he's aware of it. But, he sees this as, look at all the engagement I get for these tweets, and then I can tweet out some matches and some promotion for Wednesday and, to help boost the rating. That's why he does it. So, what he tweeted was, a double standard. Hook, 28-1 career record, on winning streak, calls out champ, a logical challenge, sparks online outrage. Jinder
Where was the outrage?
has literally lost every single match he's in for the past year, immediately gets title shot. Where's the rage?
No rage.
Listen. I saw a lot of people defending Tony. They're doing it on the chat right now. And yes, DJ, he is wrong. Okay?
Thank you.
What timeline is he on? Who is complaining about Hook getting a shot against Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
Who?
Nobody.
I didn't see
Have you seen anybody
No,
complaining
not
that
even
Hook
the
is getting a
biggest
shot at Samoa Joe?
Not even the biggest WWE haters. In fact, WWE fans. In fact, what I saw was all of the WWE fans shitting on the Jinder thing more, being like, are you fucking serious? Like, they were memeing it, like Triple H really about to have Jinder beat Seth for his fucking belt, aren't they, and shit. Like, people were like, of course they do this, and they were shitting on that way more. I'm sorry, but Tony, excuse me, sorry, the bubbly, soda water, haha. I am drinking an Tony's like having arguments with people in his head. Like, for sure, dude. That's what you notice too. You see, like, when you go on Twitter, you say something, and then people, when they shift the goalposts, like, they just add all this extra because, like, they're just lumping everyone in this timeline, like, in their timeline, and they do that all the time. I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it, but it's like, if you can't stop and think about that, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, he's having arguments with people in his fucking head and then applying them to, like, overall, where's the outrage? It's like Tony's like rage baiting. If it's like a troll, it's like, if people are, Tony Khan must be like a government psyop to just enrage people, because it's like, if he's not doing shit that pisses people off automatically, then the shit he does that no one gets pissed off about, he goes and talks shit and pisses everyone off. Do you guys know what I'm saying? I think I just, hold on a second here. I think the truth is out there. I think I'm onto something here, because the man, like, he books shit, people complain all the time. He's silent about it. He books shit, people don't complain. He's out there going, why are people mad about this, and triggering everyone. He's got to be a psyop, dude. He's got to be a fucking psyop. Ooh, WWE 2K24 is trending. Wonder what that
I
is.
haven't seen one person complaining about that. Okay?
I haven't been searching it out, but no, I did not see anyone complain.
Then he says, Jinder is getting a title shot. Where's the rage? What?
Where's the rage?
What? All I have been hearing about since Monday is Jinder Mahal is getting a title shot? Now listen, maybe this is out there somewhere, but I haven't seen any of it. I have seen nobody complaining about Hook, and I've seen tons of people mocking the idea that Jinder Mahal is getting a title shot. So I saw that tweet, and I was like, what are you talking about? Where is this happening?
Yeah, so that's even Alvarez saying that. I mean, what more can you say? Let's drop a fucking round of applause for Brian Alvarez, man. I can't believe it. I should get him on the pod. I should reach out to him. I'm such an asshole. Yeah, so that was it. My thoughts, just basically to summate that, and then I got a few more things I want to talk about before we go. Just in summation, Tony, calm the fuck down, log off, get somebody to run your X for you. These people, these accounts like AEW Defender and Sport of Wrestling and Team Chaos 1988 and all the death threat bots, they are not doing you guys any favor. You need to address these people. You need to address things that are real and stop addressing things that are fake. So like when Chris Jericho has these sorts of accusations thrown against him, or, you know, people are trying to get understanding on the Punk situation, or people are like, look, dude, you have the most bot accounts death threatening people like NPCs. You cannot then project that shit with fake shit and give independent studies done by me and my friends, and there's bots and conspiracy theories and there's fake outrage that really isn't there for this fake wrestling show and this fake wrestler's record that I fake created. Stop it, man. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing this company. I just want what's best for you in the pro wrestling industry, and you being there willing to just throw money around. But now we're starting to see that the wrestlers don't want to go there, do they, Tony? Aren't we starting to see that now? When Edge couldn't go there and make a difference, do you think Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth wants to go there, who we're going to talk about in a bit, Tony? Why is Julia not going there? Why isn't she going there? Oh, the women's division will clack hill. It'll be the best. I'll tell you why Deonna Purrazzo's going there. Because she went to WWE. She did that. She put her time in everywhere else as one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And you're paying her more money for the less dates that she's ever had to fucking work. And it's a bigger fucking platform because somehow you have the most money to dump into all of this. Like, just imagine if you were focused on your own show and just give Jeff Jarrett the book of Rampage and give fucking Mark Henry and someone else the book of Collision. You book Dynamite, you book Ring of Honor. There, Tony. Or put someone in charge of Ring of Honor, you book Rampage and Dynamite because you tape Rampage at Dynamite, and then let someone else book Collision and just reel it in, bro. Slowly. Trust other people. Artists are, as somebody who, not to shoot on the shoot work, but we're shooting on your shoot work. Tony Khan, I'm talking to you. I know you're listening. In the arts, dude, as Brendan Schaub would say, the best brains for the arts. When we're talking about the arts, dude, you have to be able to let shit go and have other people, like, that's a huge part of it. Especially when you're operating at a high level, when you're talking about marketability and all of these sort of things, dude. Okay, so just as somebody who really, really am rooting for you, man. God damn, you make it hard to root for you. So, with that being said, moving forward, and I've said it before, but when we compare stuff, we're going to start comparing TNA to AEW. So what I'm going to do every show moving forward is I'm going to take the AEW shit I watched. I'm going to take the TNA shit I watched. I'm going to tell you the positives and the negatives from both. Okay? And I'm going to do it like a head-to-head, like a Simon Miller ups and downs or whatever type shit. And then WWE, guys, we're going to compare it to WWE. Like, it's just going to stand on its own thing. And we're going to try and revive the idea of like Raw versus SmackDown. And we're going to manifest that until we get a fucking, until we get like a, some sort of real brand split, brand supremacy type vibe. But there is a lot of that, though. There's a lot of that because, you know, like Raw, I'm going to see Cody, I'm going to see Punk, I'm going to see Seth, I'm going to see Jinder now. Jinder every week probably now. Oh yeah, we missed over the main part. So I was giving my final thoughts to fucking Tony, but no, we got to back up. So the main part, though, the biggest bomb, dummy, Jinder Mahal drops the bomb. He tweets out, and the reason that I skipped over is because he deleted the tweet. But Jinder Mahal tweeted out, "Who the fuck is Hook? Watch Monday Night Raw on USA Network." And I guess that is the best way to end this rant, because that was the bomb that was dropped. He goes, "Who the fuck is Hook?" He becomes the #1 babyface in pro wrestling in the WWE universe right there with one tweet. He didn't tweet for like a year. He comes out, cooks Tony Khan. And there's this hilarious clip of Jinder. He was on WWE The Bump, like their podcast, the next day. And he's like, yeah, he's talking about, he's like, yeah, I was in with The Rock, it's great. And I was trending worldwide for a whole day. And then, and like, he doesn't want to say why, but you can tell he's like biting his tongue and he's kind of smiling. And then you just see Mia Yim, because she's like co-hosting the bump, and you just see her, she like, she gives like how do you explain it? She looks down and like, puts the hand, like visors over her eyes and is looking down. I don't know what you call that, but she was doing the ooh shit, like, yeah, don't bring it up, girl, kind of thing. I don't know. That shit was fucking funny, man. And it sucks that Hook, because Tony, so yeah, back to my final words, Tony, all you did was get Jinder more over and the WWE more over. You made yourself and AW look amateurish and shitty and foolish, and you got Hook. You fucking shit on Hook now. And we all like Hook. We've always liked Hook. Everyone's always liked Hook. We've always been like, send Hook on this fucking show. I think I criticized one thing about Hook, and it's his booking. It's nothing to do with his work or anything. And that's the other thing. I tell people, I was watching wrestling with my dad, and I was explaining to him, like, yeah, this is Taz's son. And then he was like, oh, really? Da-da-da. And my dad was geeking out because I was like, yo, Edge is here. My dad was laughing at like, oh, these 4-way matches fucking suck and stuff like that. But he was like, he was watching like an 8-man tag, and it just wouldn't end. And he's like, oh, this has been going on a long time, My dad's older and shit, but my dad, he was going, he was like popping for the fact that Edge was there and Christian, and he's like, what are they doing here? And I was like, well, they just took this guy's money. I was like, but they can do what they want, and like, good for them. Like, good for them, because like, they deserve it. Like, you guys know on this show, if you listen to the show, Edge and Chris, they go take Tony Khan's money. You guys deserve that shit. Jericho, go take his money. Like, you guys deserve that. I implore Goldberg, go take his money. Go to Wembley. Go do it. Might as fucking well. All these guys. So I know people scoff at that. Phil, how could you say it? But it's just go fucking do it. So, but yeah, so my dad was popping for that. But when Hook came out, I was putting Hook over, and I was telling my dad, I was like, look, man, he really lays his shit in. Like, and my dad was feeling him. He's like, yeah, this guy's real. He's just wearing like boxing trunks and shit. I'm like, yeah, you get it, right? He's just a fighter. Like, he's not. So he's like his dad, right? He's just the modern version of his dad. So like, I always loved Hook. So like, Tony, all you're doing is hurting Hook. You're hurting Jinder. Or I mean, you're making Jinder bigger than it already was. Like, the WWE was already putting him with The Rock and then putting him with Seth, and then you just came in and just, let me just fucking give you a 1-up mushroom. Let me just red up that fucking Super Mario shit you got going on there, and he just grew even bigger. It's so stupid. It's so counterproductive, and it's laughable. I implore you guys to go watch Booker T react to all these tweets. He just bursts out laughing at Tony Khan, and it's like, Tony, that's what they're doing. If you don't think like Edge and these guys, and I hate to keep evoking Edge, but he's the latest guy. If you don't think like Edge and Jericho aren't laughing the same way behind closed doors, dude, like, I'm just being real with you, and I'm not saying Tony Khan's not a good guy. I'm sure he's changed lives, and I encourage this. We need to encourage AEW to exist, but we got to just, Tony, calm down on the fuck. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not holier than thou. I've had Twitter meltdowns. We all do it, man. You be better. You admire WWE so much. You want to be compared to them. You don't do this shit for the fans. It's clear. If you did, you would push the people they want, which is why no one was mad about Hook, because people want him to get pushed. You would run smaller buildings. You would get less hands-on with creative, because that's what Vince did, and he was the shits. So you would stop doing that, but you'd be more like Vince in a business way. Paralegals and all that aside, we're not talking Saudi Arabia should do what you want in Saudi. Everyone's doing business in Saudi, right? I think they're starting to I don't know. Like, we've talked about it on this podcast a million times. Women on billboards in Saudi Arabia, wrestling did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we're saying. But yeah, we got to end this. We talked about this so fucking much. We got to move around to some other shit. We're going to fly through the rest of the motherfucking show. But while on the topic of AEW and people complaining about AEW and stuff like that, there's a lot of like Hardy Boys drama been going on. So the last show we talked about how, well, a couple shows ago or a few shows now, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy were on a podcast voicing their displeasure about just not being used, and they promised they're going to do better, and they thought they'd be used better and all this sort of stuff, and they like the creative freedom, but at what cost is that? And a lot of people online accuse Matt and Jeff, oh, you guys purposefully got Jeff fired and all this stuff, which who knows, whatever. Even if they did, that's kind of badass. I hate how everyone on social media, they act like they're holier than thou. Like, you never fucked up. You never said a bad word. You never that. Like, now you're like, yeah, people used to say that. We don't say that anymore. You know, I still catch myself saying fucking, I try to say retardant or redacted, but you guys know what word I try not to say it, you know? So, but it's just, we all, like, everyone acts holier than thou. You never grabbed a titty in a movie theater. I'm just playing around. I'm just playing around. Like, obviously, some people, it's just with saying, like, oh, Jeff, you purposefully got fired. That's kind of badass. That's Brian Pillman-y. Like, this, like, it's really fucked up that even people go, oh, like, they're independent contractors at the end of the fucking day. That's how they work, but they really work for the WWE. Everyone knows that. Same with AEW. Tony's shown it. He's flexed it. He said, no, you can't do this day. I need you, with like John Moxley and shit. So that's how it's got to be. And that's what you need. Tony needs to do more of that, to be honest. But then you got to give him healthcare and all that. Remember when Tony's talking all that shit? We're paying their healthcare. I don't know about all that. We'll see. But, the Hardys, they're speaking of healthcare because we're about to get into injuries and CTE and all this type of shit. So, and this really isn't funny. This is all fucked up. So the Hardys, Jeff Hardy's been tweeting out more. I thought we'd be used more now. We're stuck in the Collision. We're stuck on Rampage. And then he made a post about, he said here, this is Jeff Hardy saying, don't miss AEW Collision tonight. It's going to be another amazing Saturday night of pro wrestling like it always is. We, the Hardys, only work one show a week because we're the Hardys. We prefer AEW Dynamite. The dimension of AEW Collision was designed for punks. So he's making up punk shit, but I don't know. He's like, I think they're trying to get at it. Like this at But Why Alyssa, shout out But Why Alyssa. She goes, Danielson is going to get carpal tunnel writing all these social media fines for Jeff specifically. True that, because this isn't the only one. There's a few of them. I don't have them all dug up, but. And then furthermore, on the last episode, last week, we're talking about how Reby Hardy and Matt Hardy are, I think I read some of her shit. Like, I don't know. They're divorcing or whatever the fuck is going on. And so we talked, I'm not going to reread them. Like last show, check it out at Pro Wrestle Times on YouTube or just wherever you check out the podcast. Reby Hardy does this whole, like, she starts making posts about the new year, but like blurring out Matt's face and being like, oh, like heartbroken and disgusted or whatever, right? Like he cheated on her or something. I don't fucking know. I don't want to throw accusations, but that's what she's making it seem like. And so you go on Reby Hardy's, so she's posting more videos, and this is like up until today, like yesterday. Like I just saw this one today. This was 22 hours ago. So this is within the day. And then this one's from yesterday. So this is a TikTok of Reby Hardy, and it's her with like her hair done like red with red lipstick, wearing green pants like she's cosplaying Lita. Okay? I'm not fucking joking. She's cosplaying Lita, and it says, the caption is, when Matt Hardy does me dirty for the last time. And she's putting on a t-shirt.
Think you the shit, bitch? You not even
and
the
it's
fuck.
Edge's t-shirt. Oh my God. Everybody has some Edge in them. Like, hold on. Like, she must have been planning this. Like, this, bro, this is what I'm telling you, bro. Be careful who you marry and shit, who you give your life to. Women are crazy. This woman, this is like a week to a month. How fast do you get an old retro WWE Edge shirt? Like, it doesn't even look worn out. Matt didn't have this. You know goddamn for sure he doesn't have Edge merch hanging around his house, especially shit with sexual innuendo. She's literally dressed like the Hardys would dress, like Lita would dress, dyed her hair, red, like has the whole has the jeans and everything, dressed like Lita, and has a fucking Attitude Era shirt that says everybody has some edge in them. This is his wife on TikTok. Bro, your wife shouldn't even have a TikTok. Oh shit. Oh, I'm gonna have people. I'm just playing, guys. But like for real, bro. Like your girl shouldn't be wiling out on TikTok. To say the, can we all agree on that without people getting mad at me? You okay? I'm totally kidding, guys. But like she like this is like no marital issues should be on social media for people to see. Okay, like period. If it does, if your arguments take it to online and shit, man, you guys gotta really, that's just time you gotta all go away, separate ways. Here's the thing. The caption is, when Matt Hardy does me dirty for the last time, she puts on a shirt that says everybody has some edge in them, dressed as Lita.
I be going hard.
How sharp is your edge on the back? And this song is, I be going hard, probably about fucking.
You not even the fuck. I be going hard.
So she's done with Matt, and then I don't mean to laugh. I'm so sorry. It's just the TikTok thing at the end. Blah, like, oh, dude, society is doomed. So follow us on TikTok, by the way, guys, at Pro Wrestle Times. So then, and then on top of that, so this was after that. So after that video's even posted, okay? She goes, okay. So at Reby Hardy, okay, so you go under her likes, and this is what she liked. Somebody, this is the PW Hustle on Twitter, tweeted out, and she tagged, I hate when people talk, if I talk about Tony Khan, like I don't tag him and shit. I don't, like, I'm not like trying to provoke people. I'm just giving my thoughts and inciting discussion or discourse or being funny. Or just pouring out my fucking brain. Drunk, thoughtless sometimes. When I'm buzzing, that's usually when my tweets get the most traction. But I hate when people like tag people in it. I guess go ahead, but I don't know. I just find it weird, especially when you're talking about shit like this. But so the PW Hustle says, I said it when Reby Hardy was popping out kids like a gumball machine, that she was setting Matt Hardy brand ass up. This person's tagging them in these tweets too. This is crazy. So I said it when Reby Hardy was popping out kids like a gumball machine, that she was setting Matt Hardy's ass up. She gonna take that N-word to the bank and then end up with her own reality show on True TV called I Broke Matt Hardy. And Reby Hardy liked this. About her setting him up and taking him to the bank when it all went like. And this is what I mean, dude. Like, women will go to the nth, bro. They'll have your children. They'll have a home with you. People are going to fucking, Andrew Tate. People are going to start coming after me. Oh, shit. No, I'm really not, like, you know, like, it's just, I'm telling you, they'll take you. We tell you guys on this show all the time, don't be simping. Don't waste your money on this OnlyFans shit. Don't be a little wiener jerking off. Fucking be cool. Okay. Get some fresh air. Exercise if you can. No one's perfect. Okay. Don't all looking like the wrestlers we fucking idolize. You know what I mean? We watch the chips from the couch and drink the beers, and that's why they make the money we do and we talk about the wrestlings, right? So, but fucking just don't like, just with girls, man, like, this woman is his everything, man, and she's it's just embarrassing their children, bro. They have kids, bro. Like, one day, do you remember when your mom did this? You know, that's all I'm saying, dude. And I'm not shaming anyone, but like liking tweets like that. We're talking marital here. I know a lot of people apply that to it. I'm not diving into that world. I'm just saying, this woman has a family. Like, be a little more mindful of that. And I get it. Let's assume that the dude was acting outside the marriage, so she feels like that's embarrassing the family too. But really, is not, because nobody even knows that it happened until you guys put it out there. So don't put it out there and then you deal with it within, whether you separate or whatever. But it's just the kids got to look back on that one day, and that's all. I just care about you folk. I've always put Reby over as like being funny and a savage, and like there's more posts than this, her talking about like how her husband has CTE and liking posts like that about CTE and shit, which is she posted a picture of Matt like talking to her, like looking happy and normal, like looks like he has a smile on his face, and she's like, when you're trying to talk to him but he has CTE, and let's say he has CTE, man, that's fucked. Like, why are you putting him on blast like that? Like, so what, she's gonna fucking milk him in and leave him when he's at this peak where whatever's going on in his life is probably a lot of it has to do with this supposed thing you're telling him he has going on? God damn, this is above my pay grade. I am not Maury Povich, folks. What else do I have in my notes? So I have a little bit of basically I wanted to talk about the Dynamite a little bit, just basically, and WWE as far as like injuries and stuff like this. So there's been I just had to make a note. So like on Dynamite, Darby Allin gets thrown into the rope. It was a botch. He lands on his fucking neck on the rope. It looked horrible. Looked like he could have died. In that same match, you had Sting. He did a reverse DDT off of the fucking thing. I don't know. He has a death wish on his way out the door. He thinks it'll be fun. I don't know if people are pitching this shit to him. He does a scorpion death drop off a stage through 2 shitty tables to Hobbs of all the guys. Like not Takeshita, like the more skinny, limber guy who could you do it to the big, heavy, giant, jacked guy who's going to thud to the ground. So Hobbs lands on his neck, almost dies. Sting lands on his back, is thankfully okay, doesn't die. Just fucked, man. And you guys want to talk about quitting jobs? To this day, I feel like Sting, maybe, did he break his collarbone? I don't know. When Seth hit him with, I think that was just his way out of WWE, I feel like. Because I think technically he still has a Legends deal with WWE. Sting does. They just don't put him in shit because he's with AEW. But you guys will see once he's out of AEW again, I promise you'll see after his quote last match, you will see him. When's Revolution also? Hey, how about Sting will be at WrestleMania 40 just standing in the rafters, or just come out and do a little promo, hit someone with a bat. I promise. Maybe not at 40, but Sting won't ever go away. Anyways, because it's same with Flair. He has a Legends deal with WWE still. That doesn't go. They never terminated that, so he could work with AEW. But anyways, so the injuries. So I don't know. That just all looked awful. The Bucks came back looking like Spy versus Spy. No one gave a fuck about that. That was, hey guys, for the Bucks' return. Where's the fucking Price is Wrong here, dude? Like, I mean, and apparently Sting wants to work with them. Good for Sting. And then you had WWE and NXT. They did the Ilya Dragunov fake neck break thing, and then you had the week after, you had Vinci got drop kicked by Kofi, and then they stopped the match, concussion protocol or whatever, and he was really starched. He's okay. And then we had the Austin Theory on SmackDown here in the Carmelo Hayes. They had a match where, for some reason, I don't know why the fuck Theory's doing this shit. I don't know why the fuck they're doing this stupid shit on the main roster. I fucking will criticize this if it's AEW. I'm going to criticize it here on WWE. I don't know why the fuck they're doing, let me do a springboard. When this whole match, I was like, this is a fucking AEW tryout match. Theory does a springboard, sit on the rope. How do I explain this? So Melo's sitting on the top rope, going to dive on Theory. Theory does an athletic run, Superman jump, Spider-Man leap up the rope, but then sit on the rope with his thighs catching Spanish Fly. You guys are probably like, what?
Nope. What?
Like, what the fuck am I even talking about exactly? So, in RVD, he does like the split-legged moonsault. Va-boom. So imagine that, but instead of like split leg around the turnbuckle, he split legs on, he sits to get the recoil off of the top rope on the left-hand side, on the left rope, like across from the hard cam, while Melo's sitting in the corner. Do you know what I mean? And then he catches him in like the Uranagi rock bottom position and then does the moonsault into the Spanish fly. So he and Hayes, so Theory lands on the top of his fucking head and Hayes lands on the back of his neck. They end the match. And apparently both guys just had facial lacerations. Thank God they're both okay and not dead. Right? And then at an NXT house show, Cora Jade got hurt again after she just returned. Now, I'm not saying that this happens a lot too. We're seeing with these girls in NXT, they get hurt right when they come back. Dakota Kai, maybe that's the only one and I'm just stupid, but you know, I think Tegan Knox as well that happened to. Yeah, so maybe I'm not making that up. So Cora Jade though, she just came back, she's making waves, dime to dime dime. Everyone's talking about her. She broke up with Braun Breaker. She's in the news. And then we got she hurts herself at an NXT live show. Now, she put a little gif out that is this lady going, I laugh to keep from crying. So I don't think she's severely hurt or we would have heard about it, but I think she's just going to be out for a long ass time again, which fucking sucks. I hope all of these people get better, do better, be safer. But let me, so I saw a tweet out there where someone's like, yeah, people ain't ready for this conversation that AEW has less injuries than WWE. Their injury list is so I hate these conversations, but here's the thing. So we're going to talk about the injuries a bit. When WWE, there's an injury that occurs. If someone sprains an ankle, they give them fucking time off if they feel like they need it, 100%. So yes, that injury list is longer. But furthermore, it isn't as bad as AEW. In AEW, the injury list, like Brian's out there, MJF is talking about he's got to take a bunch of painkillers to do the main event. He's got a torn shoulder and all this shit. You got fucking, whether that's him working or not, whatever. You're saying he's taking a bunch of painkillers. Painkillers kill people, bro. You shouldn't be saying that shit. You're the top babyface. So I'm inclined to believe that's real. You have Brian working with a fucking hurt orbital, and he keeps wearing the eye patch. Yeah, it's probably healed up, but he did break it. He did hurt it, crack it, whatever the fuck it was. He hurt his orbital, and then he's also got a broken arm, which we know for a fact is. So he's out there working with both of those injuries. You have all these people working with injuries, flipping off ladders, having their legs fucking spun around. In WWE, they stop the matches immediately. We've seen Rick Knox multiple times in AEW where people get knocked out for shoot, and then they're forced to finish the match. In WWE, it's the complete opposite. So again, people playing that game, you're fucking dummies. That's why PWT is here. That's why Phil Marks is here for you. Okay? I am here for you to let you know that it's okay. Okay? But you're wrong. And it's a lot safer, and this is why. They get dropped on their head. They end the match. Lance Archer gets dropped on his head. They finish the match with a roll-up. Fucking... Now, was that badass when Stone Cold did that with Owen Hart? Yeah, but we learn from those moments. We don't compare to those moments. We learn. So dude gets shoot KO'd with a drop kick. The match ends. Melo and Theory get dropped on their necks and heads. Awesome. We want to see that match again. It's not awesome, but like you guys know what I'm saying. Excuse me. We want to see that match again now. They both look strong, but they're both fucking stupid. And I will criticize WWE for that. They don't need to do that. Hayes and fucking Austin Theory don't need to do that shit to get over with how good they both are. Period. So yeah, that's the injuries talk. And then I got one little tidbit of news, I guess. Mickie James, this will transition into the TNA hard to kill stuff. Well, let's just okay, let me see. So yeah, and then we're on the topic of WWE, so I guess we're on the topic of both, or AEW, I guess. I don't know, where do we go here? So Jack Perry showed up in New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley and attacked Shota Umino, ripped up his AEW contract and put on an armband that said Scapegoat. I wrote, who knows, but it is intriguing at least. Mustafa Ali showed up with a promo package in New Japan as well at Battle in the Valley. They had Jeff Cobb and Matt Riddle, and I'm super into New Japan again. I gotta be real. Jack Perry, I tweeted out, he showed up looking like Danny Masterson, which ain't a good look right now. But I'm super intrigued with a lot of the stuff New Japan has going on. And with this Jack Perry thing, I gotta be real. It's interesting. It's like, okay, he is sort of the scapegoat. You know that this is all under the guise of AEW, right? Like he obviously still works there and with them, but I don't know, man. This is definitely, I'm curious, and he's probably gonna fight Shota Umino next, which will be a good match. Umino's dope. And people are laughing and said that Jack Perry cost AEW millions, and he did. And just leaning into this, though, of him being like, everyone's fantasy mark booking it. Oh, him feeling abandoned by, we don't know all that yet, goofs. But yeah, it's a good look. So shout him out, I guess, and shout out New Japan. They're killing it. Mickie James is working for OVW. Shout her out. But TNA Hard to Kill. I just wanted to talk about it. I got the card here, so I'll pull this. I'll just breeze through this, and then I'll just read my notes. So I'm actually going to write that down. That I'm talking about that next. So right, TNA Hard to Kill, man. TNA's officially back. They ran a smaller little building. It was nice. The crowd sounded nice. Top Dolla, shout out AJ Francis on X. He liked 2 of my tweets saying that, well, we'll get into the segment. But TNA Hard to Kill kicks off the pre-show. Steve Macklin defeats Rich Swann. Good little match. It was whatever. Rich Swann was cosplaying Flash Funk. Solid little match. The System, which I'm not feeling this team. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards defeated Kazarian and Eric Young. That's cool. There were pictures floating around of people going, oh, that's like, look, is that Triple H there? Oh my God, da-da-da. But it was Eric Young in a fucking suit. Everyone thought it was Triple H. It's pretty funny. Crazy Steve defeated Tommy Dreamer to become the new TNA Digital Media Champion. Cool. It's like their hardcore title now, I guess. I don't know. But it's a smart idea to have that, like, so that when they do online stuff, your Digital Media Champion is most likely. TNA makes a lot of sense. It's a fun show. Giselle Shaw won the Ultimate X match, became the #1 contender. That's who I picked. I picked her, Tasha Steelz, but Tasha Steelz won the first ever one. This is a okay match. It was what it was. PCO defeated Dirty Dango via disqualification after interference, but then it was turned into a 6-man match because a bunch of people came out, and I saw some mark online, WWE Real One or something. He's like, you guys are going to pretend to like PCO and Dango? It's like, dude, Dango's doing great work since he had that gimmick changed. But anyways, though, so we had PCO, Rhino, and Jake Something. They took on Dirty Dango, Alpha Bravo, and Oleg Prudius, who's Vladimir Kozlov from WWE. And I don't know, man. It was a good little match. PCO's doing his thing. He's fucking crazy. Like, he's nuts, man, for his age, and he's still going. So then we had an out-of-nowhere, unannounced tag title match. The Decay, Havoc, and Rosemary, who are back from the dead. I guess they were killed. Okay, less of that, please. But they defeated MK Ultra, Slamovich, and Killer Kelly to become the new TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Now, they had all the new belts. All the new belts were dripping. MK Ultra, dude, Killer Kelly is she is so incredibly sexy, dude. It is just ridiculous. But I don't think you should have taken the belts off them. I think that's crazy to do that now. Just out of nowhere like this too. But it was a great match with a couple of great moments, honestly. Love all these girls. Chris Sabin took on Kushida and El Hijo del Vikingo. This match was great, other than I'm so sorry, and I love El Hijo, but dude, he doesn't sell. He stands there and waits for shit. He's too, like, it's good he's getting the rounds in America. I hope people are telling him, like, people just gas him up. A dream match, the greatest talent. Man, someone's got to tell him he's got to sell more. He's got to not make it just look like obviously he's just going move to move to move. That's my only criticism of him. But it was, I don't know, man. Kushida and Sabin carried this fucking thing. You have Josh Alexander took on Alex Hammerstone. WWE call Alex Hammerstone, sign this guy. I would just put him on the main roster. I would just put him on the main roster, man, for fucking sure, dude. Get him. WWE's got to come scoop this boy up, man. I'm telling you, this Alex Hammerstone, he's something. The crowd wasn't as hot for this as I thought they would be, but Alexander going over him is the right call for TNA to do that. And also just both men look great. ABC versus the Rascals, versus Mike Bailey and Laredo Kid versus the Grizzled Young Vets, and Trent Seven couldn't be there, which is, that's shitty, but like whatever, travel stuff. So this match was fucking great. This is how you do a multi-man tag match. But damn, dude, I'm done of seeing ABC and the Rascals. Like, let's get some real, like, sign GYV, Grizzled Young Vets, keep them in your division. Like, just have them in there. The Good Hands, let's see those guys tying it all up, because I don't want to see another Rascals ABC anything, dude. They've been in a bunch of 4-ways together versus each other. It's a great rivalry, but I'm done watching it. Jordan Grace beat Trinity to be the new TNA Knockouts champion. A great match, a great piece of business. Trinity fucking on her hands and knees, hands in her face, crying after losing the belt, sold it so well. TNA production, my only criticism, I think they were pressed for time, but they got to let these things breathe. They got to let these things breathe. The title victories and that. But of course, Juggernaut, she was in there in TNA colors. Like, she's the face of the company. They had her in that package. Trinity's going back to WWE. We all know that. So it was a solid, great match. Trinity's just this sort of baby face that, I don't know, man. Who would have thought she just took a year off and from WWE, I'm going to go fucking just wrestle a bunch of different ladies and just help level up TNA. And it's fucking awesome. This is why WWE needs to work with TNA and let people go do that. Just work with them, man. It's a good, because it keeps it separate from NXT, and then they can get in there with New Japan guys and all that shit. You know, they like a fucking El Hijo you might see on AEW, you might get a WWE guy. But anyways, Moose defeats Alex Shelley to become the new TNA World Champion. And then what happened was, so this match was great. To me though, I was like, you know, I'm done with Shelley being world champ. He's just not the guy I feel like you put in main events and it's like, oh, I got to see this. But then they did the crazy thing, a brilliant thing. So, and then I'll circle back to AJ Francis, Top Dolla, because he did the second best piece of business on this show. Top Dolla did, for all the haters out there. Real shit. So, but this match, Moose versus Alex Shelley. So Moose beats Alex Shelley, wins the title. Great match. Moose is doing his thing, you know? And then that's when, you know, the system, like his faction come out there clapping. And then that's when, boom, the music hits. And Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth, he did a very smart thing. He started tweeting out his theme. Hey, these guys made a theme for me. These guys made a theme for me. And he was getting his Twitter buzz going. And he's so smart because a lot of times these people debut for these companies, they're new music hits that we've never heard, and you don't know who the fuck it is. You're looking for the Titantron to see the name. Nick Nemeth was smart. He got his shit out there to his 2.6 million followers beforehand. So people were going, oh, this is a vibe, the most wanted or whatever. And he is. He's the wanted man. And think about this. TNA got Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth turned down AEW. And yes, I'm going to word it like that because the dirt sheets will not fucking, the way they word it, WWE got turned down for AEW. They won't word it that way for AEW, but we know AEW, they got Ryan Nemeth. We know they made a play for him. We know they did. But what happened? Nick Nemeth goes to New Japan. He's getting his money there. And he shows up. And Moose goes to attack him. He super kicks him, hits him with the fucking whatever, the zigzag, whatever you want to call it now. The knick-knack, whatever he's going to call it now. And yeah, man, he goes in the crowd. The crowd's going nuts. They're getting a holy shit. This crowd's going insane. And he fucking rips his shirt off, wearing a TNA shirt. He's TNA, man. So they're going to let him do tours of Japan, but he's TNA full on, through and through, carrying them into the new gen. And Nick Nemeth, man, He is a real guy. So he turned down AEW. Good for him. And there you go. People don't. Julia doesn't want to go to AEW. Nick Nemeth doesn't want to go to AEW. Is it really so great? Money ain't everything, Tony. That's what all the money marks learn. Learn it the hard way. So Nick Nemeth, though, dude, he's TNA through and through. Good. Because he's a guy who, now he's in their main event picture, 2.6 million Twitter followers, was getting paid $1 million. TNA offered real Punk money to Punk. Real money. Nick Nemeth is a lot of money. He ain't Punk money. He's probably, but if he's getting an M a year, whatever, however much they gave him, it's worth it to him to go to Japan to do this. He has his real official merch, like TNA shirt, like, nah, he's with us. I love this, man. This is a guy who people have wanted to see get pushed. He's a generational talent. Him and Randy Orton are like two generational fucking talents. He's going to get his push. He's going to elevate things, more eyeballs, bigger houses for sure. You know what I mean? Fresh matchups. Just letting him doing what we all know he could be doing and what he should be doing and what WWE didn't have him do. They just didn't have that space for him, and that's fine. You know, they didn't use him as a jobber, but they used it. He just wasn't a guy that they used, you know, which is unfortunate. But this guy, man, he's going to make, this isn't like him going, like if Edge isn't making a difference in AEW, nobody is, but Dolph is going to make a difference in TNA, I promise you. So that shit blew the roof off the bitch. Also, Dana Brooke showed up, and her new name is Ash by Elegance. And all these marks on Twitter are like, oh, she's copying Toni Storm. Dude, Dana Brooke hasn't even spoken a word yet. She looks like a jeweler's daughter or something. Like, we don't even know what the gimmick is, okay? She's like a perfume sales lady or something. That's what this shit seems like. Toni Storm's like Marilyn Monroe on the tail end, falling off, doing coke and drinking with fucking movie execs and old Hollywood, Judy Garland horror story fucking, you know, on the tail end before she joins the 27 Club type shit. Like, that's what Toni Storm's gimmick is. So if you're conflating those two things, I just don't know what to even tell you. And then, yeah, Top Dolla shows up. AJ Francis, and he's with DJ Who Kid, and he did a tremendous piece of business here, and he tweeted out, or he liked my tweets that I tweeted out, where he's like, he comes out, he shits on everybody, talks all this shit. He's like, we're going to premiere our music video. And I'm sitting there watching it going, dude, what a dumb idea. Like, you shit on everyone, then you're going to play your music video. So then they play their music video, but then Joe Hendry interrupts it with his theme music. And it was brilliant. The crowd pops. He comes out. They're all singing, waving their arms for Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. And so that was brilliant there. And then they did like, and then they sang us, and DJ Who Kid's like got a laptop. He's eating Cheez-Its or whatever, because AJ Francis has like a deal with Cheez-Its or whatever. And then Hendry's like, I'm going to debut my music video. And it's like dissing AJ Francis. Like, it was so good. It's dissing him for having his flop over the top rope. And, you know, you're a chubby Cheez-Its eater guy. Like, you weren't a world champ. You're fucking the champ of Cheez-Its. Fucking hilarious. And then AJ Francis and Who Kid beat him up. They hit him with the laptop. They beat him down. And then AJ Francis hits him with a fucking choke slam from fucking Hades. And the whole time he's like, yo, I get money and you all are broke. You're brokies, da-da-da. And I tweeted out, I was like, yo, you got to call this choke slam. You got to call it the broke slam. And he liked 2 separate tweets where I said that. So shout out Top Dolla. And if we hear him calling it the broke slam on TNA, literally your boy Phil Marks invented that. So a round of applause, but we'll wait and see if he actually does it before we drop an air horn or an explosion, okay? But yes, I told him, I tweeted that out. I tagged him in it earlier in the show. I was like, it's gross when people tag. If you're tagging them about good shit, that's cool. If you're tagging them in their marital affairs, that's fucked up. But Top Dolla, I tagged him. He liked both of them, and I said, you got to call this the broke slam, because he got Hendry up fucking 12 feet. Not really. Yeah, 12 feet in the air. And he choke slammed him through the camp. No, but it was great. Go watch it. Hard to Kill was a great overall show. We gave me a round of applause, so we'll give some to TNA, man, for Hard to Kill. It was a great show, and just going into 2024, that's how you kick off 2024. Nothing that like blows you away is like this was the greatest ever, other than maybe that Ziggler moment. And also Mercedes Mone and Bailey were in the crowd hiding out, and Mercedes didn't debut at TNA. Everyone thought it could be her. The former WWE champion that appeared was Dolph Ziggler. So Monet is not going to AEW. She's not going to TNA. She's not going to any of these places. Okay, she's gonna go back to WWE. I'm pretty fairly certainly confident on that. And also Sean Ross Sapp. What's the clip? Fuck, I gotta pull it up now. Because sorry guys, I'm just searching on X. So here's where he said, I will play
says,
this.
No longer in conversations. The agreement contract is already signed.
This is where he said that she's coming.
No. Walked away from conversations.
Walked away from WWE.
No funny little wordplay bullshit.
No
nothing
funny
like that.
wordplay bullshit.
If you're guessing, where do you think
that? She walked away from negotiations. Expect her in AEW.
Mercedes shows up. Do you think AEW has any debuts on deck? I would expect her to be in AEW. That's what I'm expecting. I think it'll happen sooner than later, and that's what I'm personally expecting. Somebody says, no longer in conversations. The agreement contract is already signed.
Oh, really, dude? Here's him.
Yes, I do think there is more of a possibility of Mercedes heading to WWE than I thought there was in August, when there was a working plan for Mercedes and AEW to work together. Because when I followed up on that, I have not been told of any current active plan.
Because they don't tell you, Sean. They tell you what the lie is. So, but he has one where he's really, he heard the rumor, and he confirmed too, like when they're like, she's asking more than Charlotte Flair. No, he goes, I heard the rumor. That's what happened. There's a video of him completely backtracking. I got to type in backtrack, don't I? There's him completely backtracking the Mercedes fucking thing. Whatever, man. He completely backtracked. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I have no idea. Yep. I have no idea. Man, get the fuck out of here. Anyways, I didn't mean to bring that up, but it's hard when it's like the dude, I don't know. These dudes, they get offended when you poke fun, but it's just like, then stop. Like, people pay you money to just tell them a bunch of bullshit like that, man. Pretty crazy. So yeah, just to wrap this show up, guys. From now on, we speak of WWE as a level above. We compare AEW to TNA. We talked about that. And guys, yeah, I guess I was gonna. There's probably an ad that I pre-cut thing. You might have probably noticed this show. And I'm going to plug it in afterwards. And we are officially here at Pro Wrestle Times. We are affiliate partners with WWE Shop and Fanatics. And we're excited to announce this because there's podcasts who've been around way longer, don't get as much views as us. No, I'm not taking shots on anybody. I love everyone out there. But there's a lot of people like, they're sitting there with their toys and their belts and the back, like they're just marking for themselves, dude. You know, this show's about, I've ragged on it on the show before. Podcasts, you got to remember, they come from fucking radio where the audio is king, okay? There's guys like Brendan Schaub who you can change your fucking studio as many times as you want. It's not going to bring you in more viewers because at the end of the day, you have to be bringing up compelling conversation and talking to people. Oh, my fans. If you guys notice, I try and talk to you guys like you're listeners and human beings. You know? You listen to me, right? So you're wrestling fans first, you know? So anyways, yeah, so the podcast audio is king. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about are you entertaining? Can you have a compelling conversation? Those go far and above. There's shows with Zoom calls that do better than shows that have these big fucking studios like Andrew Schultz looking like he's trying to do the Tonight Show. And no shade at any of these people, but yeah, there's podcasts out there bigger than ours who aren't able to get affiliate partnerships, or people with way more followers. And I was shit scared. They're like people who don't have certain criteria. Like, you have to give them access to all your analytics and stuff. And you listeners, man, it's because of the podcast itself we were able to secure this partnership with WWE Shop and Fanatics. So we have an affiliate link down below. You guys, I implore you, if you buy anything from WWE Shop, you click the link, allow it. It just takes you to WWE Shop on the homepage. That's where it's taking you. It's nothing sketchy. You guys know me. You click any of those links below, and it's a great way to support the show. And if you're going to buy anything from WWEshop.com, make sure you click that link below, you use it, and you shop through there, and you directly support not only this podcast, not only your boy Phil Marks, but you directly support WWE and your favorite WWE superstar, and you directly support your drip daddy. Those CM Punk hoodies, man, they nice. Cannot lie about it. And yeah, so I just wanted to plug that, and you'll probably I'll probably do like a pre-read ad that I'll start plugging in. Sorry guys, we all got to do them, but I'm only this shit ain't gonna turn into NASCAR. Okay, the worst thing is, like, you listen to these podcasts and every fucking 10 minutes, and I'm not taking shots. Get your money, do your goddamn thing. If Manscaped wants to I'll read ads too. I'm not above any of this shit, but nothing will ever get changed the way my approach or my takes. No one will hamper that, and that's why I look for the most independent way of trying to get any type of sponsorship or affiliation, or any way for you to support this channel and what I do, will always be the utmost independent thing that I can possibly do. And WWE Shop, I guess they like what we do, so we are partners, and I would really, really appreciate it if you guys used the PWT link anytime you shop at www.shop.com. It would just support us, and it supports WWE as well. And fuck it, we're e-drones, I guess, now, guys. It's what it is. We're fucking e-drones. It's just what it is. So guys, thank you so much for rocking with me. So much support. The channel's growing. Everything's growing. It's all growing. The listeners are growing. I love you all so much, man. It means so much. Kicking off 2024 the right way. Gonna try and get you all these episodes early. I'm gonna try and just make goddamn sure it's always Monday morning. But I appreciate you guys show up like whenever I drop. You're never like mad if I take a couple weeks off. And the top pod listeners in the building always. I'm gonna give a yeah for you motherfuckers. Check us out everywhere at Pro Wrestle Times on X, TikTok, Instagram, all the good shit. At Pro Wrestle Times on YouTube. At Pro Wrestle Clips is the main channel. Patreons, I love you guys so fucking. I love you all so much. Hit the like, subscribe, leave a rating. The Patreons, though, you guys really, extra kisses for you guys. And I appreciate you. Reggie Rodriguez, Mark You the Mark, Ashley V, Russ Paxson, Chris Killis, Cruz Madrid, and Desirac Uchia. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And yeah, I appreciate you so much. Check out the Patreon. You guys get early access to the podcast. You can download the audio straight up. If you just want to download it, you can download the artwork that I make for thumbnails there, all for free, just listening. If you want to listen to the regular pod that everyone can listen to, you get it early and all of those things, but also you get all of the exclusive content. There's hours of it. I'm uploading a bunch more, guys. I've been a little lagging on the Patreon. It was the holidays. I've been real busy catching up on a few deadlines on the shoot work, but the ball's rolling now. I'm actually ahead of the game, so I'm gonna get a bunch of that Patreon stuff up to you guys sooner rather than later. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Go and check out TNA Hard to Kill, please. This week, go out of your way to watch TNA, please, please, please. And yeah, guys, shout you all out. I love you so much. I have been your host, Phil Marks. I was here. Yeah. You have been the Top Pod listeners. Yeah. And the Top Pod is out. Yeah. See you in space.